In this video, I will be talking about misokinesia. In my previous video, I covered most of the basics of misophonia, and I didn't get out what I really wanted to say, I guess. Mainly, it was just spitballing and everything that came to my head. But hopefully the book will explain more in detail on how I want it. In this particular video, I'm going to be talking about misokinesia, which is part of misophonia, but more on the visuals rather than the sounds. If you saw my previous video, and I'll be putting it down below if you want to check it out first, I told you misophonia is selective sound sensitivity syndrome, where certain sounds can throw you into a fight or flight response and can cause the brain to go haywire and the reactions to be really, really bad and put you in a state of depression. Now, think of misokinesia as the same thing, but instead of being triggered by sounds, you're being triggered by visuals. Now, it's a little hard to understand, so it's like a lot of people tell me, so any movement can bother you and stuff? No. Just like misophonia, it's selective. Not every single movement bothers me, only some. And for a little better understanding, as an example, I'm going to show you a few clips to tell you and show you my main triggers. The video that's going to be prior is going to cover what misophonia is, then I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to show you what misokinesia is, just to show you the compare and differences, because misophonia and misokinesia are similar but far apart from being the same, because even though you're plugging your ears and you got rid of the sound that's bothering you, the visuals, anything that you look at selectively, can still continue that stage you're going to be put into when you're going through a misophonia state. So compare and contrast, first the sounds, then the visuals, and for those who have misophonia and misokinesia, I'd advise that you pause, skip, and go to the next segment, because I don't want you guys being triggered seeing this. So without further ado, this is what miso and misokinesia is. Now that's barely even half of the things that can trigger people, visually and hearing-wise. Misokinesia is not every single movement, and it's very hard to cope when you're living your daily life, say around your family, your friends, going outside, anything. Anything can trigger you. Not everything, but you don't know until you look at it and it starts giving you the same reaction as misophonia. It's kind of hard to cope with, because with misophonia, you have music you can put in your ears, you can have headphones, earplugs, many different ways of how to cope and block out the sounds that I told you previously in the other video. But misokinesia is a little bit harder because you can't not see. You can't literally go around your whole entire life with a blindfold on, even though it'd be nice, but it'd be very hard to do everyday things that you want to do. There are several ways of coping, I believe. I grew my hair out, as I said in the previous video, where, say I'm writing at school or something, I can do this to block out visuals here, but I have to write, so this leaves this open. So I grew my hair out, so it's blocking a little bit of some of the triggers, like somebody tapping their fingers like this, or shaking their leg that I somehow can see, or rotating their pencils or pens, anything like that. Sometimes it's hard sitting at a desk, because even though I can cover the things that are on my sides, I can literally see people rotating, bopping their foot and stuff in front of me, and I can't literally do that because I need to write, I need to do stuff. So in order to help that, I suggest getting a seat in the very front, even though it's kind of weird because you're closest to the teacher. But if you really need to cope and handle this situation, you kind of have to suck it up, and the teachers will bite. But then again, you're going to be close to the teacher, and what if the teacher starts triggering stuff? You got to be careful where you sit, who you're around. It's very hard to deal with this rather than the hearing, because the hearing, honestly, it hurts, but Misokinesia so far is giving me more trouble to deal with rather than the sounds, because I've had a lot of practice, coping with my hearing, and being in a room by myself, it's pretty much fine as far as the Misokinesia goes, because there's nothing in here that's triggering me right now. I can't hear anything, I can't see anything, so it really helps being in this safe zone. However, going outside, there's a lot of sounds that can trigger me, there's a lot of visuals, but the sounds I have pretty much under control. I am prepared, I have headphones and all that stuff, but it's really hard going around and you want to scratch your eyes out. You can't unsee things. And the hard part is people don't even realize what they're doing, because it's an everyday thing. It's a normal, natural thing for people to do to, anything. I really wish I had more advice to give people like me as far as dealing with Misokinesia goes, because growing your hair out, blocking your hand like this while you do things, and being careful where you sit and who you're around and stuff like that only goes so far. But what if you're in a position where you can't get up, where you can't leave, you need to be there, you have to do this, you have to do that, and it's very hard. I'm still trying to learn myself on how to cope with this kind of stuff. The same pill that I am taking for my misophonia is actually helping my Misokinesia as well, somehow. If you want the name of the medication, please message me down below and I'll try to connect with you, but please see your doctor first. Medication is the last thing we all want to go to, especially us as sufferers. We've tried everything, and that's pretty much the last option we're forced to go to, because everything else isn't working. There's not much I can say. Just be careful what you do, who you're around, where you are. Bring a hat if you want to put it on, and the front will actually cover majority of what's in front of you. Grow your hair out, do different things like that to try to cover what's around you. It's hard being at a dinner table because it's rude to have a hat on, at least in my family. If you're sitting next to a family member or a friend that's doing stuff, they love you. And if you take the time to explain to them what misophonia is or what misokinesia is, then if they're really your friend, if they're family, and they really love you, they should understand. Even, yes, it does sound ridiculous, like when you say, can you stop tapping, can you stop moving your leg like that? People will look at you weird, people are thinking it's going to be strange, but just remember, as I said in the previous video, they don't understand, and they won't understand until they go through this, and they never will, thankfully. But just know that if they love you that much, they'll do anything for you to make you comfortable and to make you stop being in pain. I've gotten comments where I've asked certain people, hey, can you stop shaking your leg and stuff, or tapping, rotating your fingers, twiddling your thumbs and stuff like that, not because of the sound, because of the visuals, and they literally throw kind of a tantrum or show their frustration visually. And I know it's hard, and to this day I apologize, but it's honestly not my fault, and it's very hard to cope with friends, but I've been the one who's actually got up and left. I don't like stopping people from doing their everyday things because they're having fun, and why should I crush that? So if they're doing a sound that I don't like, I get up and I leave, take a minute, and then come back, maybe sit somewhere else, take them aside later on and explain to them all this stuff. But again, if they're your friends and they're your family, they should understand they love you that much to actually try to stop and help you get through this stage until you find some way to cope with the things that you're going through. I really want to write this book, and I've gotten started a little bit. It's just hard with life, work, college, everything like that, but I'm really trying to take daily times to write this book. It's going to be called Misophonia, Life as It Sounds, but it will be covering misokinesia in there as well. Other than that, if you're a sufferer like me, whether it's misokinesia or misophonia, message me. I'd like to hear your story, show me your video, show me your blog, anything, because it's really hard to find somebody, especially in real life, that's going through the same thing, because technically we suffer in silence. You can be sitting next to a person and you don't know they have this condition until you notice some signs like, I moved this way and they seem to be edgy, or I made this sound and they seem to walk away and stuff. You don't know. You can see subtle hints, but you don't want to assume. But if you're a sufferer like me, please contact me, because it really helps talking to people that are just like you. And unfortunately, you don't like to see a lot of people that are going through the same thing, because it hurts me to see. I don't want anybody to go through this. But unfortunately, if you are a sufferer, please contact me. Please find people just like you. It helps because there's a certain connection because you have something in common. And it's unfortunate, but it helps. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope what I said and the little tips that I showed you would help. If you're a sufferer, if you're not, hopefully you know somebody who you can send this to and see if it helps them as well, and for a better understanding for yourself for what all of this is. If you want me to cover more information about misophonia or misokinesia, let me know. Perhaps I'll make another video covering what I actually wanted to say rather than what what came to mind. The first video was not what I expected it, but at least I covered most of the basics of what happened. But hopefully the book will give a better understanding, and it will help, and it will share. So please take this video, and I'm going to be publishing the first video down below, so check that out. Share this, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully it's going to be not as depressing as this one. I'm going to be doing not so much reaction videos anymore, because honestly I sound and look like a boring person where I'm not energetic or spontaneous. I really am when I get to know you guys, but the camera is like, it gives a calming, like, okay, this is more informative rather than acting crazy. That's just me. So you'll see whatever that pops up on my channel. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.
I need somebody, not just anybody.